Hi there guys and girls. I just wanted to do a video about the recent news that Mortal Kombat 1 won't be receiving a Kombat Pack 3 or story expansion. Now just to front up, I'm expecting this to be a long video because I want to talk about what I think are the problems with Mortal Kombat 1 related to this sort of weird chart that I come up with. But basically what's happened is that Interloco found in the code some mentions of what could be DLC characters. Now, as always, he mentioned, everybody, this doesn't mean they're going to be in the game. I just found this stuff in there. Anybody who goes through code like I have and like he does knows that you can find all sorts of crap in. I found stuff in the old Mortal Kombat that never ended up in the final version of the game. All sorts of crap. Graphics, sounds, text. Do you know what I mean? Just because it's there doesn't mean it will end up in the product that someone just plays and does a data mine. People like us, we play the game and we data mine, so we see both sides, sort of thing, right? Now, he found a whole bunch of stuff. I replied to some of the tweets. DLC characters: Jade, Blaze, Jarek, Nightwolf. I don't know, a whole bunch of characters that could be cameo or could be single player. You know what I mean? And turns out that then, not long after that video went up, I don't want to say tweet. It's a Reddit thing. I don't use Reddit. I fucking hate Reddit. But I always hear people talk about Reddit. But Reddit, they said this leaker, this guy called Fate Unknown, who has never been wrong with all the information that he's put out on Reddit, has come up and said there will be no Kombat Pack 3 and there'll be no story expansion. So everyone's like, MK's dead, and here's the thing. MK1, I'm just going to say it, it's not a good product. I'm sorry, NetherRealm. It's not a good overall product. It doesn't mean the whole thing's bad, and I'm going to get into it. But when you look at all the other MK games, they all, even MK versus DC Universe, right? It had problems. It was censored and had all these weird rules. But I still think that's a very solid game. And even that had more content to offer than MK1 does. And that gets a lot of shit. And that started the storytelling that we like. HD presentation, 720p. And that's what put NetherRealm on the map. That was MKDC, guys. It started there. Didn't start with MK9. It started with MKDC.
Earthrealm is merging with another world. Powers are shifting, rebalancing. I have felt the effects in Shao Kahn's defeat, and they have grown ever stronger.
Quan Chi foresaw the intrusion from the other world, and that their champion would pose a dire threat.
And the Lin Kuei sent you to eliminate this champion.
Yes. Much like this rock formation, the warrior's fortress appeared near the Lin Kuei temple. I wore him down and sealed him in ice.
You did not wear him down. His power was siphoned away, redistributed to others.
I must find Quan Chi to demand he reveal all that he knows.
Very well, Sub-Zero. I will show you the way. Search for Scorpion and you will find Quan Chi. But be forewarned. Betray my trust at your own peril.
Anyway, so I've got this chart. And I believe that all the things around the circle in the middle, which is the game, I believe that all these things are part of what makes a great Mortal Kombat game, right? And so I want to break down my thoughts on each part of these and why I think that MK1 has failed. Starting with Legacy. Legacy is, because Mortal Kombat is a known brand, Legacy refers to the fact that every time you make a new game, someone like me who was an old gamer you know, and then there's new gamers. You have to have stuff in there for the old guys, and you have to have stuff in there for the old games, because it's a legacy brand. It's been around a long time, okay? So, when I play Mortal Kombat 1, even though it's the next story, the next chapter, there's got to be stuff in there, like, that will remind me of the first game, or the second game, or, like, the old games, right? And a perfect example of that is how Ed always says, Scorpion and Sub-Zero will never not be in a Mortal Kombat. They're part of it, right? They're legacy characters, and that's why they're in it. But when you think about the legacy of MK1 versus, like, I don't know, even 11 to some degree, and X, the only legacy I really get from there being, okay, most of the characters are old characters, but they feel a bit shallow because let's say half, maybe not half, I don't know, third are like cameos, right? And it just feels like cheap. Cameo Sector feels cheap because, sure, he looks great, he comes in, I'm like, Cameo Sector, cool, does a rocket, then leaves. I don't feel like I'm getting the real experience of playing the character when he just comes in, does a move, then fucks off. Do you know what I mean? It just feels cheap and hollow, and I don't get what I want from that. I don't. I feel like a lot of people are the same. They don't, you know, playing as Sector is different. You learn all combos and, you know, all the shit. And I know the argument's going to come up, but he's in the game now. You know, we'll get to that soon. But, you know, so you got legacy characters and you got legacy skins in this game. But other than that, maybe a few fatalities. I mean, the animality thing, you could argue that's a legacy feature. That's a really good feature that they put in this game. That's probably the best thing they did in Mortal Kombat 1 was animalities. There's not a lot. And by that I mean, like, it's kind of hard because, like, I want to sort of shit on the fact that, well, the Living Forest is in this game, but it doesn't look anything like the Living Forest we know. And I understand that's because they're telling a story, and you're the kings, you don't want... Do you know what I mean? But that has affected it and made it not legacy now, because now it's Happy Living Forest. Yay! Happy Living Forest! With pots around them, and little shrines, and people dancing in the background, and everybody's happy! I'm sorry. The Living Forest I knew and read about was, you know, Shah Khan learnt early on, I forget which even MK game this was from. Shah Khan learnt early on to not let his armies march through the Living Forest because most of them were eaten by the trees.
It is said that those who are consumed by the forest become the forest, their tortured faces etched upon the trees. Shao Kahn learned long ago the perils of sending troops through this treacherous wood. Many of his best soldiers have been lost to its entangled foliage. The deadly nature of the Living Forest is likely why it has remained unspoiled for millennia.
That's the Living Forest I know. The Living Forest is fucking dangerous. In MK9 you got bodies hanging up there, and MK2 you got the guy in the background dead. The vines have wrapped around him and killed him, you know, like... That's legacy. This does not have it for the old stages. And that's another thing down. So if I was going to say the legacy of MK1, it's weak at best. Maybe okay because of the animality and stuff, like mid-range, let's say, right? That's one part of what makes up the tasty Mortal Kombat pie. Okay? Next, we're going to go on to DEI. And I know you guys have heard me go on about DEI. Look, I really hate it. I fucking do. I just hate it. Like, if you guys... I think most people do hate it. Because since Trump became president... Well, he's got to be president. President-elect, whatever. I've seen a lot of companies just dropping DEI, video games just dropping, and that's because we've been given this confidence boost that I will not stay silent anymore about this crap. If Trump can stand up and say, you know, I'm going to change this industry or that, or make changes to this, or Nancy Mace is going to impose rules around bathrooms and stuff, you know, maybe I should speak up too. And that's what's going on. People have had enough. And the people who haven't been speaking up, and like, I've been speaking up, but I've been keeping it to sort of a bit of a mid-level, not just full-blown, and lately I've just been full-blown. I'm just like, screw it, man, you only live once, right? If people are going to block you or unfriend you or not follow you anymore because of opinions, they can piss off, right? The thing is that DEI, Bridge, ESG, whatever the fuck you want to call it, forcing characters to change, forcing storyline narratives to change, forcing attitude to be removed from the game, forcing things into the game like vaccine needles and bowls of weed and pills, which have never had any part of Mortal Kombat. And I noticed it. And I believe I'm the only one that fucking talks about it, because people think I'm a fucking loony most of the time. That's because people like me are confident to say what needs to be said. You know, and it just doesn't need to be in there. Right? We know why you put it in there. You want to brainwash us. It's really quite simple. They want us to, you know, not be as aggressive anymore. They want us to be like, just accept all this stuff. Just go get vaccinated. Get 1,000 booster shots and have a heart attack. Do you know what I mean? They say all this nonsense. Do you know what I mean? Japan has recently come out calling vaccines poison, by the way. The more you know. But anyway, regardless, I'm not trying to say that you can't go get 1,000 vaccine needles, or I'm not trying to say that. I'm trying to say that Mortal Kombat doesn't need this stuff in it. It just needs to be neutral, man. Let people live their lives. You want to go dress up as a clown? Do it. You want to hate people that go dressed up as a clown? Do it. The game shouldn't be telling me what to think or feel politically wise, or, you know. And here's the thing. If you think about old games, old Mortal Kombats, they never did it. Right? MK2 never lectured me, or never had anything in there that was similar to, like, a, you know, boosted needle, or you know, trans rights, or gay rights, or, you know, just swapping characters. I mean, I know the game was early on, but, you know, I felt like Mortal Kombat 2 was very diverse. I did. Because we had, like, Liu Kang, we had Asian characters, Kung Lao, we had Japanese Scorpion, we had Chinese Sub-Zero, we had African American Jax, we had white Sonya, white Kano, well, Kano wasn't in MK2, MK1. We had Katana, we had Melina, we had, you know, group of characters, and I never felt like I was being beaten over the head with rights of characters. Do you know what I mean? It was just great. Do you know what I mean? It was just awesome. And I want to cut it short because I always talk about this, because I think this is a big problem. Like I said, when you change your story to push that, and you change your characters to push that, and you change your sound to push that, and your graphics to push that, and your programming to push that, people just get sick of it. I'm sorry. And not everyone will say it. Or not everyone will vote for Trump. But 75 million Americans can't be wrong, can they? Everyone is sick of it. And while people might not say it because they know they'll be fucking cancelled, and that's why they get angry at me on Twitter, you're unemployed, because they can't ring my employer and go, he said something mean about me on Twitter, and try to get my job fucking cancelled. And that's what people have to fucking deal with. And that's why people are fucking sick of this bullshit. These people who live in this circle and try and act like some sort of fucking mafia online, and try and cross the boundaries of internet and reality and get people's jobs fucked with. And that's why I hate this. Why do we support this crap? Because that goes hand in hand. Now they'll argue and go, oh, they're not all like that, but they fucking are. They are. Because that's what they do. When you piss them off, when you say something like, I like Trump, like, they'll lose their fucking mind. He's a felon! January 6th, the insurrection! These people lose their fucking mind about this shit. Why do we support this? This is part of the problem. And as you can see, I'm talking about real world problems versus in-game problems. And that's why I see this as fucking evil. It almost spells evil. We just need the V and the L. Get rid of the D. That's what it should say, evil. You know? So, wrapping up DEI section, I believe that it is a detriment to Mortal Kombat. And if you look at Mortal Kombat 9, it had no DEI. And if you look at MKX, it had very low DEI. And I think MKX's DEI was at an acceptable level. Even though it's there, it wasn't super annoying. But then it just got bigger and bigger. What can we change now? What can we do now? Oh, Cinder lied about everything. Oh, she never committed self-end. You know? So it's like, you're fucked with your story now. You ruin your story just for DEI. Do you know what I mean? And then the argument is, but it's a new timeline. The biggest, most piss-weak excuse in all of story writing history. And people are sick of, it's just a timeline. People hate fucking Marvel now. We're sick of it. It's boring. Because your answer to everything is, it's just a timeline. So, it doesn't matter if Tony Stark dies in Iron Man 10, 11, 12, 13, 16, 18, Age of Ultron, or Infinity. Well, it doesn't fucking matter because he just comes back from a different timeline. Or we'll bring him over from this timeline to the current timeline so he's back. You know, it's just crap. Characters can't die. And the funny thing is, in Mortal Kombat, characters never died off. And I remember even, I think there was a video somewhere of John Vogel even saying, you know, this character previously died, but now he's back somehow. Like, I think he said something like that. And they always came up with a way to explain it. Okay, Shang Tsung did sorcery, and you might make the argument, but that's just as weak as It's a New Timeline. But it's not, because they use It's a New Timeline on everything, right? TV shows, movies, everything. It's a blanket statement, right? Whereas it was sorcery or something, it's a bit more specific and it requires a bit more explanation. And that's the difference between lazy story writing and good story writing. Next, content for all. This is a big one. Content for all refers to the fact that what does Mortal Kombat offer me as a solo player of the game? I don't play online. I don't compete. I just play the game for fun. That's it. I'm interested in the story and the content. That's it, right? And then what does it offer someone who wants to, you know, be a competitive player, right? FGC or whatever, right? Or what does it offer the people in the middle of the road? There's like 3 groups of people, basically, right? Mortal Kombat 1 fails to offer someone like me a good experience. It offered a solo player campaign and the characters, sure. They got rid of the crypt. And I wasn't against getting rid of the crypt, because the crypt's always there, sort of thing. You want to do something new, sure. And the invasion thing kind of sounded like a good idea, and I still think it could be good if it was tweaked, but it's not tweaked enough. They made some improvements, but it's still not enough to get it to be this mode is fun, sort of thing. Even just down to small things like every time you win and you have to watch your character do their animation win pose. Marlena wins, and you got to just sit there and watch it 1,000 fucking times. Do you know what I mean? It just gets annoying. Like being ambushed every 10 seconds, which was in the game when it launched. It's annoying. You know, you want it snappy and fast, right? And that's just one of the problems. You know, invasions mode too, it lacks fun elements. It looks fantastic, and you got these different areas and it looks great, and the funniest thing is they had something great when they had the cage mansion, which I never finished because it warned me, and I thought it was just warning me in the context of the game as a joke. I didn't think it was literally warning me that I wouldn't be able to come back and finish the Johnny Cage Mesa when I left it, but it was. So I never got to finish it because I don't know, I was missing a few secrets. But the Cage Mansion Mesa is probably the best Invasions had to offer. Because it was fun. It had like the NetherRealm arcade, and I was playing the Mortal Kombat 1 trailer on the TV in the room, and there was all these things. There was all these like little Easter eggs and references and all this cool shit. And that's exactly what you needed in the game. And they pissed it off straight away. Axed it. As soon as you finish the Mesa, that's it. You can never play it again. And they were going to do a Halloween version. That got axed. Nah. Those were the Mesas that should have stayed in it. Those were the ones that would have been more fun. They were actually smaller, so you can get through them kind of quickly. Whereas the other Mesas, they're really big. They're overdrawn. You got to watch the wind pose a million times. You get ambushed all the time. You get secret fight all the time. And the outcome of winning an ambush or a secret fight is crap. You don't get good rewards. The fact of the matter is that the storage, I kept complaining about the storage. I'm still shocked that they never did anything about it until Invasions was dead. And then they had the gall to sit there on the podcast and go, oh, by the way, you can stack keys now. Fuck you, NetherRealm. We were asking for that ages ago. The fact of the matter is, I'd find the one secret portal, where you go to the Chaos Realm in every Mesa, and I'd go in there and it'd be like, inventory full, inventory full, inventory full, inventory full, because I would just dump fucking needles and fucking, pills and bowls of fucking weed on me, and you can only hold 5 fucking items. 5 items! How many games do you know out there where you can hold 5 things? What a joke, man. All I had to do was double that to 10, and that would have alleviated probably most of the issues. It would have given just a little bit more wiggle room to, okay, I can hold on to things a bit longer and sell them. Having 5 storage made the shop irrelevant, because I'm not going to hold on to all this shit until I get to the shop, and that's why they realised that, because when you push start, go to shop. That's why that was there probably. So you could just teleport to the shop, get rid of your shit, but then you have to walk all the way back to where you were. It's just a bad design. If you just had a bigger storage, it would have been like, okay, I'm at the shop and I'm going to offload everything I don't want anymore. Do you know what I mean? But they didn't do it. So Invasions. Also, the fact of the matter is that you have to do this Mesa to do this Mesa to do this Mesa to do this Mesa to get to the last one. That was tedious, because then every month came around, you had to do it all again, same thing. You were just repeating. It doesn't matter if I have to beat this person because they have, lightning armor, or this person has chaos aura. It doesn't matter, it's just a bullshit effect. It's the same thing. It's the same level, same character, same bullshit. Do you know what I mean? And that's why later on they added all those challenges. They started to sort of, that was a move in the right direction, but like I said, it wasn't enough. If they just had that I could pick any Mesa, even the last one, if I could just pick the last Mesa and unlock the invasion boss, cool. It would feel less tedious. Because then I can chip away at the rest later. Cool, I got my Nitara or my Scorpion or whatever, right? But you didn't do that. And that would have really, really helped, So, Invasions is done. And as a solo player, I've beaten the story mode. So this game offers basically 3 things as a solo player. It offers just the standard gameplay, the standard Mortal Kombat. It offers Towers of Time now, which is a new mode. My voice is getting a bit hoarse. It offers Invasions, and it offers... Invasions, story mode, Towers of Time, and just standard gameplay. Right? Standard gameplay, we come to expect, you gotta have that anyway, right? It doesn't really count. So that leaves us with story mode, which is over in like 4 hours, sort of thing, 4 or 5 hours, let's say. Invasions, which is tedious, as I've explained. And then you got Towers of Time now, which is sort of okay. You can unlock some stuff there. Adding that was smart. It put a bit of life back into the game. It got rid of that horrible centralized portal Mesa that I did a video about how terrible that thing looked. It had a weird color scheme. It had like the orange portal in the background, like shining on the snow, so it looked dusty and like it looked like outback Australia. You know what I mean? It just looked shit. Instead of like, but when you'd see it on the map screen, it was all snowy. It was like snowy with a green portal. It looked better, right? Anyway, they got rid of it, put the towers in instead. That looks a lot better system, right? So, as a solo player, this was lacking in modes. Like, if you think about MK9, which had, oh my god, it had so much. It had your giant crypt to unlock the necropolis. It had, there were lots of secret characters, something that's also lacking from this game. That's why they announced a secret character in it now. Again, I'm moving in the right direction. No one's found the secret character yet. But, one character. Mate, on MK Deception, how many did I unlock? 12. 12 characters. So it's like, and the argument is, but it's a different game now. It's for tournaments, so it can't have everything locked because of tournaments. So this is the problem you've got. Content for all, it almost needs to be split in two, because you got these people now that, like, all these fighting game nerds that only care about fighting games and expect all the characters to be unlocked from the get-go. That then impinges on me as a solo player who wants to unlock shit and wants to sit there and grind and earn coins and open coffins or chests or whatever the hell and unlock characters. That's more fun. I get that little dopamine hit, right? That's what we got in Deadly Alliance or Deception, right? So, you got a problem because you got two groups of people with conflicting. And I honestly think what there should be is the game should come out with all the characters locked, and then after a month, there's an unlock key for tournaments, right? And then after a month, they just give you the unlock key. It just comes out, or it just becomes public. You put that key in, unlocks all the characters for anyone who wants to do a tournament and wants all the characters there or whatever, right? Bang, right? That gives players a solid month to play the game and unlock everything and have fun, right? Just an idea, I don't know. One of my crazy ones. So that's the problem with that. MK1 does not have enough content for solo players. MK1 doesn't offer the best content for FGC players. There are lots of bugs in the start, combos, very buggy. The Cameo system's kind of trash. It's a bit of a gimmick. It is a gimmick. Get to that soon. And so this is a fail. This is a fail. This is a fail. You see what I'm saying? This is a semi-fail, sorry. That's a big fail. That's a big fail. And then we got Pizzazz. Now, Pizzazz is really important, I believe. Pizzazz is what made Mortal Kombat great was the digitizing of the actors, but the amount of effort they put in to make it look good. So you had, like, John Tobias painting the characters frame by frame to make them look good in the final product. And the best example I can give, if you look at Mortal Kombat and then you look at, like, Tattoo Assassins, and you can see the difference. Mortal Kombat plays better, it's more fun. Tattoo Assassins feels sloppy. It's like there's nothing there. It's just trying to cash in on the look, we digitize people phase, right? Pizzazz is really important. It makes your product sing above all the others or on par with the rest. So Pizzazz, you got broken up into a whole bunch of categories. You got overall, of course. Everything overall must be good, because when the sound is good, the graphics are good. When the graphics are good, the sound is good. You know what I mean? They complement each other. They cross. When everything's good, it is like the holy grail. And the best example is just MK9. No one can dispute the fact that MK9, which is right here actually, is such a solid product. This is such a fantastic game. This is the model that they should have been following, because other than the portal missing, which is a personal gripe because that's my favourite level, it just gave everybody everything they wanted. It gave even though this wasn't even the best fighting game, FGC sort of online. It didn't have the best net code in that, right? But people still played it. But you know why? Because the game was so fucking good. The characters were good. They were sexy. They were like, it was just fun. It was over the top. Everything was over the top. The sexiness of the women was over the top. The buffness on the men was over the top. The fatalities were over the top. It was just awesome. It was just fun. And that's the business model that they should be following. MK9. When they were making this game, it should be like, is it like MK9? And the thing is, and I've said this in a few videos, I believe that NetherRealm was out to not credit this game anymore, or discredit it, or not talk about it, or not mention it. Because I've seen a few different things, like one of the writers, Dominic, who I don't have a problem with, because he worked on this game, right? But you go to his website, and he mentions every product he did, except MK9. Now, it might be an oversight. He mentions it in his sort of write-up, that, you know, he got nominated for a writing award and everything. So it is mentioned on there, but when you look at all the products he's worked on, he's got a list of everything. MK9 is missing. I just think it's a bit weird, because when MKX came out, they doubled down on all this. You know, we had to, no, sorry, not X, more 11. That's double down on, you know, well, the women were too sexy, we had to change them, sort of thing, you know, like, you know. And this is where it's getting weird, because Mortal Kombat's always been Rockstar status. We do what we want. Like Total MK, he does and says what he wants, right? And that's sort of how Mortal Kombat was. It was very Rockstar, you know? And this is the product that they should be aspiring to be like. And having your pizzazz is a perfect example of of that. For example, I was streaming MK9 last night, and I was stuck on a challenge 251 for a while, and it was on the subway stage. And just to give you an idea of the subway stage, Pizzazz, I'm going to give you an idea, perfect example. The level, it's legacy, because it's from MK3, okay? But it's new, because it's been done up. It's been made 720p, right? In the background of the level, you got all these posters, Ninja Mime, Special Forces, NetherRealm Studios, Warner Brothers. Do you know what I mean? That's pizzazz. It's like, oh, that's cool. They make the game. Oh, cool. Join the Special Forces. That's funny. That's a reference to Sonya and Jax, because they're from Earthrealm. That makes sense. That they might have an ad or a banner ad or something on the wall there, right? And then the sign, the subway sign says Boone Street, Baran Boulevard. Oh, they're the guys that work on the game. That's Ed Boone and that's Steve Baran. Okay, cool. You know? And then you hear, no doing any fatalities on the platform. Over the announcement speaker.
Nudity is prohibited on the platform. Urinating on the platform is strictly prohibited. Standing in front of an oncoming train is punishable by fine. Please refrain from throwing fatality victims onto the tracks. Please wait for the portal to open completely before entering.
So right there, I've told you how it's legacy, the graphics are there, the sound is there, the gameplay is there. It's a total win. And that's what it's like to play MK9. When I play The Living Forest on MK1, sure, there's like some audio cues. You can hear the magic flute in there a bit. And the trees have faces on them. But it just doesn't go far enough. It doesn't go hard enough. And, you know, like I said, making the Living Forest happy place, it sort of doesn't work. It's counterintuitive to what it is. You know, so the only way you could get away with it is if you had the evil version in the game. Like it swapped, like Yin Yang Island or something. You know? So that's my example there. Overall, so your gameplay must have pizzazz. It must feel great to play. You know, your graphics must be good. And to be fair, MK1's graphics are fucking amazing. 10 out of 10. No one can fault Mortal Kombat 1's graphics. And if anyone on the art department's watching, you guys fucking rock. Seriously, the backgrounds are excellent. And my criticism isn't about how they look. It's about what's in the backgrounds, or or you know, or how characters are drawn or covered up or whatever, right? Those are my criticisms. But they look amazing. The attention to detail, the lighting, the textures, perfect. Right? The art department on MK1 is a 10 out of 10. Right? So the graphic pizzazz is there, you know, but the DEI is impinging on that a bit. You know, the lack of legacy is impinging on that a bit. You know, and the lack of content is impinging on that a bit. So, same thing with the audio. The audio is pretty good. The music cop's a bit of shit. If you actually play the game, like go to practice mode and don't move around and listen to the music, it's pretty good. But I think it just gets buried behind everything else and you don't really hear it. And the other thing is, the other problem with Mortal Kombat audio, and I've said this another 100 times, like your uppercut sub wide and it just sounds like excellent. Not even excellent. The old game, it was like, oh, excellent. You heard it when you walked in the arcades. Sal DeVita said it. You could hear, oh, excellent, when you walked into the arcade. That's 100% true. As someone who worked in the arcade, let me tell you, that was true. It resonated in the arcade. It said, hey, I'm over here, Mortal Kombat. Just like Daytona was like, you could hear it, right? It was putting its hand up as well. Hey, I'm over here, come play me. So when I uppercut someone in MK1, it just sounds lackluster and flat and absolutely fucking boring. That there's no Shah Khan going, excellent, outstanding, superb, well done. You know? You need that stuff. This is your pizzazz. That's your glazing on the donut. Right? Multiplayer. Same with multiplayer. Your multiplayer's got to have pizzazz. Perfect example, MK9 King of the Hill mode. Everyone loved King of the Hill. I even did King of the Hill once with my crap connection. I still went in there a few times and watched people play and held up the scorecards. Mate, that's pizzazz. The fact that I can hold up a scorecard and score the match that I just watched, perfect. Does this have it? No. Does it have rooms? No. What the fuck's going on with this? How the fuck does it not have lobbies and rooms? Shit, like what the... This is basic multiplayer stuff. You know? Anyway. Same for single player pizzazz. Your story mode is a perfect example of that. Your story mode's got to sing. It always does with NetherRealm. 10 out of 10. Even in this game, the story mode's great. Even if you don't agree with the direction of the story, the way it's presented, the way it's told, the way it goes, it's great. It's perfect. You know? Polish is sort of overall, they're sort of similar. But like I said, polish is when, you know, not only was MK9 a great game, but they added so much content in there that made it so friggin' good. It was amazing. And I think that's because they were given extra time to work on it and stuff. Midway had been working on it. They'd come up with all the ideas. You know, then Warner Brothers purchased the studio. Then they put it out under NetherRealm, right? They had all the ideas there. And things like idea of polish, you know, just like the secret characters, secret fights in Mortal Kombat 9 meant something. Do you know what I mean? The secret fights in this game mean absolutely nothing. Zero. So that's pizzazz. A very, very important part of a successful video game. Community. This is a good one. And this isn't really the fault of the people who make the game. I'm just going to move that because otherwise the screen turns off. But community is like who do the people who make the game, who do they work with, sort of thing. They don't work with me. Well, they do. And here's the thing, like, I need to explain, because a lot of people, they don't understand when I get shitty about not getting a t-shirt or something. They don't understand what's going on. So, I have access to press for Warner, for Mortal Kombat. I don't hide my name. I just sign up. I join the press site. My name's Total MK. Here's my YouTube channel. I always get approved, right? But to get a t-shirt or to get anything like that, any sort of branding, you got to deal with like a community manager or something, or a press leader. And the fact of the matter is, they don't want to send that shit to me. And I've recently found out that even in Australia, they've been telling people in Australia not to send that shit to me, right? So all this time, they've been lying to me and just saying, "Oh, we're sold out. Oh, we ran out." All this crap. But what's really going on is Warner is telling people, the Australian distributor, not to send me t-shirts or logos and things like that. And that's why. I thought, okay, I fucked up. I just have to wear it. This is a me thing, right? But it's everybody. It's all the community. It's all the content creators. Like, you know, I've heard from Chris and I've heard from Lance and MKAU and I've heard from other people. I've asked them, "Have you got stuff?" You know, they get a code or something, but they don't get given t-shirts or merch or any. Here's the thing. This isn't about just give me it because I deserve it. We use that stuff to promote the product. You know what I mean? And when you've got, in Australia, just to give you an idea, a TV celebrity called Banjo, who was on Good Game, they tweeted out him playing MK11, they tweeted out me playing MK11, and who was the other guy? Was it Cameo, Chris, or Lance? Forget who it was. A third person. 3 people got tweeted out as content creators in Australia. That's it. There was no Uncaged Games or Undies or Brisk Idiot, because there's no one here that does it except me and these other guys. You know, then there might be a few sort of random streamers that play everything, but like dedicated Mortal Kombat that are popular, there's no one in Australia. So they're using my footage, my stream footage, to promote the game here, but then they're turning around and saying you can't have a t-shirt because Warner Brothers said not to send you one. Do you know what I mean? It's crap. Now that's my side. That's one side of it. But what my point with this is, who does they work with? This is my main point. Who does Mortal Kombat 1 work with? And they only work with shills, I've found lately. Anybody who's a minority, you know, I noticed, I'm just going to say it, I noticed that to get an interview at San Diego Comic-Con, everyone was in some sort of minority group that got to talk to Ed Boon or the team. You know what I mean? It seemed very, very focused on, oh, we picked you for an interview because of who you are, instead of just let anybody do an interview, right? And that's how it should be. Anybody should be able to interview Ed, as long as they're not a psycho. You know, I'm maybe a mentally unhinged psycho, but I'm not a psycho, you know. And I think the fact that when you only work with these shills who say, the game's great, tell them game's wrong, he's a racist, the game's not shit, he's shit, I love MK1. And then as soon as it's dead, then comes up the tweet, goes, I don't think I can play MK1 anymore. Lost your girl. I don't think I play MK1 anymore. You know, I've seen it from even Uncaged Games. What is my future going ahead with Mortal Kombat? As soon as it was done, because they deal with it as a contract. They are contracted to promote the game in a period of time. And then as soon as that period's up, that's when the video goes up that says, where to go to from now, like this sort of bullshit. And they think that they're these big entrepreneurs because they get a lot of money for all these views, and that's how they run their channel. But they're not. Look, they are not dedicated fans, mate. I'm a dedicated fan. I've been talking about this game. I basically lived my life around this game, while other people were out there starting families and doing all this shit. Do you know what I mean, that normies do? That's fine. My thing was Mortal Kombat. That was my station in life. Okay? It's sad. I know. It's very, very sad. But that was just my thing. Right? And I'm not saying that they're not Mortal Kombat fans at all. But I'm saying for them to only deal with people who look at Mortal Kombat as a cash cow, and let's be honest, they do. That doesn't mean they're not fans, though. And not work with anybody else because they might say something bad like, why was Tanya in the MK2 retro skins pack? She wasn't in MK2. Do you know what I mean? And that's how they ran their campaign. So every time assets would come out, like big assets like San Diego Comic Con, they made sure to send them to the shills. And they made sure everyone else didn't get shit on the list. I even had like a third party that worked with Warner sending out assets. And they even said to me, I don't know why they haven't sent anything. She probably knew. But she didn't. Even she probably thought it was bonkers, but couldn't say that, right? So I believe that also hurts your product. Right? Next, we got a gimmick. Every Mortal Kombat has a gimmick. And this one is cameos. And unfortunately for MK1, cameos suck dick. Nobody likes cameos. And it might have been a good idea, but honestly, if that had just been tag mode, mate, you would have given yourself a new content, a new mode, and people would have liked it because people have been asking for tag mode. And I understand that it might not have been popular back in the Mortal Kombat 9 days with the shit netcode, but there's your issue, right? You got a game now with good netcode, and it has a chance for tag team to flourish and be really popular. But you didn't do that. You just did this cameo shit where you're like, remember Drummond? That's what it is. Remember old Cyrax? He had a dick. New Cyrax has a pussy. You know what I mean? Like, it's just... It's a shit. I'm trying to help you guys know the wrong. I know you're wincing like, oh my god, he said pussy! Oh my god, I'm so offended. I'm not watching this. I'm sorry if you're a cupcake. This is how Aussies are. We are so direct. We don't beat around the bush, and we tell it like it fucking is. Okay? Next, we got company. What's the company like when it comes to Mortal Kombat 1? Well, they put... they were very quiet about things that got exposed early on. They left Twitter, the main place where all the players interact with NetherRealm about Mortal Kombat, because of, I don't know, some Elon Musk Trump bullshit. They all went to Threads. So that means that anybody who was on Twitter, and who wasn't on Threads, didn't get to see their, like, you know, Merry Christmas from NetherRealm Studios, because they only sent it to people on Threads, because only those people deserve to be wished a Merry Christmas. Shit like that. Shut up! Just do your job. Post on... Keep your bullshit personal politics out of where you post, who you deal with. That guy's a Trump supporter, that guy, you know, he sucks. The only people this company should be blocking are the people who are extremely toxic, who send out death threats and stuff online while they're playing. Fuck those people. You know? Sure, get rid of them. People like me, I don't ever insult anybody. I'm just very critical of the game. And I'm very critical about DI being forced and shoved down my throat. You know what I mean? So, when the company does all this stuff, it just makes them look bad. And people just hate the company then. People just hate Warner, WB Games. You know what I mean? Like I said, I keep making that mistake saying Warner. Because Warner Brothers were actually good to me. The movie guys were really good to me. But at WB Games treat you like a fucking leper. They treat you like a... You know, you just don't matter. And this isn't just, again, I thought it was me. I'm like, okay, it's me. It's because I pissed everybody off. It's not. Because other people tell me the same thing. They get treated like shit. So, it's out there. Because I've asked around. I've had people say they tried to tee up interviews with Ed Boon and that and got told no or piss off or ignored or... Do you know what I mean? So, the company's painted in a bad light. Which means then the gamers don't want to sort of be loyal to the brand. Because they see that they're a bunch of fucking assholes. That's what it comes down to. Next one. Last one. The elephant in the room. The dollar symbol. Monetization. How well does Mortal Kombat rip off the players? My answer to that would be extremely well. Unfortunately, this game really lost a lot of players, and that's why Chaos Reigns probably didn't sell as well, and that's why they asked for some ungodly price for it. They pissed off a lot of players about a year ago, by putting a fatality up for sale in the shop. And I've done videos about how toxic the shop is, how nefarious it is by having little tricks. No, that's got a mark, so that's only premium. The way that the shop runs, it tricks people, and you might own the skin and all the pallets, but you're missing the fan, and it's there in the shop saying it's discounted, it's only $1.20 now, and you don't realise you're paying $1.20 for a staff or a fan or some bullshit, because it doesn't tell you that. It's very unclear. It's very nefarious. It's tried to charge me multiple times for things. I've gone into the Xbox store and they're unticked, like they're not installed, even though I've played the character. It's installed. It's tried to ask me to buy it again. It does weird things like in the background. And the shop itself, like I said, my problem is mostly the premium store, where you're asking for real money. We were given a whole bunch of Dragon Crystals that dried up with the first release. We complained, I made suggestions, and they just now put it in that you can earn weekly Dragon Crystals, right? That's good. They now changed the skin prices to 500. That's great. Great content. You know what I mean? That's awesome. You know what I mean? The problem is that the announcers are still in there. I know why they're still 1,000. I get it. Here's your problem. If you have an announcer for 1,000 and then Total MK complains and they make it 500, you then got to give money back to all the players that paid 1,000 for it. Otherwise they're going to whinge, right? So it's probably just easier for them to leave it at 1,000. All the announcers is 10. I don't agree with them being $10. And what this game should be doing are packs where you get the announcer and the character, and that way you can offset that money. You can make it like a package deal sort of thing. That's your way around that. But they don't do it, do they? Right. I spoke with some Total MK fans at PAX who told me when they bought Chaos Reigns, it was extremely expensive because it had to go through another sort of financial system, and then it converted it and it made it like about $100. Like I had to pay about $75 or $79 for it. What they did was they said if you order it, you get 4 skins. They made it seem like pre-order you get the skins, and then when the game came out, you could just buy the skins anyway separately. And like even though you got them cheaper, and even though they specifically didn't say, oh, you won't be able to get them later, they insinuated everything. Like if you pre-order, you'll get these skins. Like that's normally because they've built up a pattern. Like that's how everything's gone in the games industry. You pre-order, you get the exclusive skin, right? They never said exclusive, and then the game came out and you could have just bought the skins anyway. So you could just bought the ones you wanted anyway. They did that. They did basically. What's the other thing they did? Something with Chaos Reigns. I need another drink. Yeah, the overall price was expensive. The pre-order price was a lot. They said something else. It escapes my mind. About you won't be able to purchase Kombat Pack 2. They said, right? And it's true because Kombat Pack is a pack of characters, but it came out and then you could just purchase all the characters anyway, but not as a pack, as separately. So it still meant you could buy the characters, just not in a pack. So just doing these things, it just pisses off the players. They just are getting ripped off. Just bent over. And not in a good way. In the showers. And just rammed for every dollar they got. Do you know what I mean? Now, like I said, putting the Dragon Crystals back, putting them back in the game, at least lets you earn something back. That's good. But it's happened so late in the game. It's happened so late by the time the second expansion's dropped. And like I said, you've done your damage now by having a fatality they had to pay for. I reckon that cost them a lot of players. Because a lot of people saw that this game is just out to get me, right? When people saw that a fatality went up for sale like that, it doesn't matter that it was Thanksgiving, Christmas, whatever. By the way, did that even come back this Halloween? I don't think I saw it. Anyway, but by doing that, you alienate your players. We are smarter than you think. We might get tricked at first, but once the word gets out, like someone like me does a video, this tricks you, because they keep offering you, hey, it's on special because you don't have the fan. And the thing about it too is the fan is like impossible to find, right? So I completed the shrine all the way. I completed invasions 100%, and I was still missing the fan or the stick, or the staff or whatever, or the hat, right? The only place it could be hiding is either in online somewhere, or it's just unattainable. So it can just stay in the shop and ask you for $1.20. Now, once I got one of the items. I got one of the gear pieces. So the pack was ticked off. I couldn't buy it. Cool. You know? One time. Every other time it said I'm missing the staff, the fan, the hat, the mask, whatever. And it's $1.20 if you want to buy it. Discounted. And they don't tell you, because you own everything else, you own the skin, and they don't tell you that. They just say, it's on special. And people are just pissed off with this shit. People are just annoyed that you only care about money. Now, what happened to Mortal Kombat? Mate, I want Mortal Kombat to make you all the money in the world. But you got to do it the right way. And the right way is $5 skins, man. People love that shit. And that's why they're selling. Deception Melina. That's why they bought it. It's sexy again. People like that. Do you know what I mean? Don't put in fucking MK movie rain or smoke. And there's all those people on Twitter going, you never complain. But shut the fuck up. You don't even watch my videos. You're just there to complain on Twitter. I did complain. I complained about Scarlet not being in MK2 when the MK11 retro pack for MK2 skins dropped. I complained about that. And I complained straight away about Smoke. He wasn't in the movie. What the fuck? I complained about that. Same with Rain. Fuck off. And Ermac. Fuck off. They're not in the movie. You know why they're doing it? Because that skin makes a lot of fucking money. Hello. Hello. You know why? And this goes back to this chart again. I need more Coke. Pepsi. A lot of talking in this video. Alright. So, it goes back to Legacy. The characters in Mortal Kombat 1 don't look classic enough. When you pick Scorpion and Sub-Zero, they got all this stuff on them now, like all these beads and fucking, I don't know, fucking weird things and little, what's that, like a metal with a hole in it, it's like string tied around it, and like, just all this over-detailed as hell, right? It's almost, is that Scorpion? Oh yeah, that's Scorpion, he's got the harpoon. Is that, oh wait. His arms are frozen. I see the ice. Do you know what I mean? But when you see the Scorpion MK95 skin or the Sub-Zero MK95 skin, that's Sub-Zero, that's Scorpion. They stand out straight away. It's like when we watched the MK95 movie, you know, you got that radio handy and you see the hand in the door, opens the door, and straight away the music goes, bah, 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 and straight away you see Scorpion and Sub-Zero, and the cinema gets excited immediately. You could feel the energy in the cinema in that moment. I know I could. Everyone's like, you hear talking, that's Scorpion, that's Sub-Zero, oh my god, they're gonna kill, they're dead meat, the Earth Robbers are dead meat! But Raiden comes in and saves them, right? You need to have that level of reaction, excitement. You're only going to get it when your characters look like characters. And that's why that MK95 skin makes them a lot of money. Because the characters look like the characters. And that's how it should be with. And that's why the cameos, they look like the characters, but you can't play as them. They're just there to come in and do a move and then leave. It's not enough. And that's where you have all the problems with MK1. And that's why a game like MK9, the God, succeeded in every way possible that this couldn't. It did everything the right way. Everything. It had the retro skins that looked like the characters, but even the baseline characters, it was just a little bit more detail. For example, Scorpion's got like the cloth retro skins, right? And do I have it here actually? Oh no, this is the Game of the Year. There was a card in some of them. Hang on. Wait a second. this one. My faulty copy of the Mortal Kombat movie. There you go. Classic Jade skin, right? I never used it, by the way. Classic Jade skin, Mortal Kombat. You can see that that's her, you know. But in the game, they just have a different looking skin, but it still maintains those base looks. You can still tell it's Jade, you know, and that's how it should be. And that's how you do your content. That's how you do everything. Legacy DEI, content for all, pizzazz, community, gimmicks, company. You know, I probably could have added a thing here for developer. Sort of comes under company. You know, the publisher just wants to push the game out and make all the money in the world, right? And then the other side of the company are the people who make the game, the team, the developer, right? They make the game, right? So, yeah, that's it. Those are my thoughts. And as you can see, unfortunately, Mortal Kombat 1, it's a failure on basically everything here, other than a few things I mentioned. You know, you look at this box. This is the premium edition, by the way. We didn't get collectors in Australia. This is all we fucking got. And includes Mortal Kombat 1, the premium edition content, the Shang Tsung DLC, and the EB exclusive coin of Liu Kang. That's it. Like, we didn't even get the statue, man. That's all we got. And that should tell you something, shouldn't it? You have a lackluster product, you know? Now, where does Mortal Kombat go from here? I don't know, actually. Ed Boon keeps saying it's going to be supported for 4 or 5 years. So does that David Zaslav. But I don't know. I've got to go back and see if they were specifically saying MK1 or if they're going to fucking cut their losses with this game. I think this is what they're going to do. They're going to cut their losses with this game. It's got a foul stench on it. Cut it and immediately start with the next game using this as a base. Be careful with that shit, because you need to fix the problems on this first, you know, before you do that. And if they really, really want to go make a great Mortal Kombat game, make Mortal Kombat great again. Where's my hat? If you really want to make Mortal Kombat great again, look at me. You need to think about everything I've said in this video. But, you know, something I always say is bring back a Naga. He gets all the Kamidogu. He tries to, I don't know, control the power. He fails, right? Something along those lines. He fails. And the consequence of his failure is he erases the Mortal Kombat 1, Mortal Kombat 11, and maybe even the Mortal Kombat X timeline for good. Dead. Gone. And then Anaga's transported back to the time of MK9. And that's the only timeline that survived from that spot. And we retell the story from MK9 going forward. That's what I'd do. I'm serious. Crazy, huh? No more Cetrion! Sorry! Crap character. You know, it's like, you know, Devora. I didn't mind Devora. It was alright. It was an interesting idea on a character. But, you know, no more Devora. Right? No more Garrus. No more crap. Annoying characters that came out during definitely 11. I would definitely 100% 11 and 1. I would cancel those timelines. Never speak of them ever again. Because you can't have happy, punsy Mortal Kombat and have dark, menacing. They tried it with Chaos Reigns and it didn't work. It wasn't enough. And it had stupid shit in it. Like Rain, who can teleport, who gets caught in between two walls. He can teleport out. He doesn't teleport out, he dies. Why? Doesn't make any sense. Do you know what I mean? So, we just need them to make Mortal Kombat great again. Start with expanding your story writing team. Go back to how it was on MK9. That story was excellent. Fantastic. That's it. That's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I wanted to break down why I think Mortal Kombat 1 failed, and now you know. You know, I talk about this shit all the time, but I wanted to go a bit more in depth with. I think these are the main reasons why there is failure. You know, and if you go back to just making a great game without your politics, you know, and just focus on the products and fix up the shop, just be crystal clear with, you want to sell this premium content, it's $10, it's $5. Mate, no one will criticize you for it. They might complain about the price if it's high or something, but be overly transparent. Don't put these little nefarious tricks in there. Oh, they're in the stick or the fan or the mask. Just to stop it with that crap, man. We can see through that bullshit. And even if the players can't, someone like me will. You know, someone like me will find it. You know, so it's up to you to make Mortal Kombat great again. Do you know what I mean? I don't want Mortal Kombat to go away. The funny thing is, people are like, what you don't play it? Those people just want Mortal Kombat to stay shit like it is right now and try and grift off it and make money and be content creators and be like, oh my god, I love that. All the characters are female now for no reason. I love that. I love it. I love that NetherRealm takes that direction with the characters. Shut up. Shut the fuck up. You know?
Shut the fuck up!
They're not fat. They weren't around in the old days, and they see people like me as old, outdated. But you know, we're the ones who started the brand. We're the ones that carried the brand, and we're the ones that are still here. Now, you want to join us? That means you join our content. It doesn't mean the content changes for different people now, and fuck us. And that's what they're doing with this game, and that needs to stop. All right, that's it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.